Hey everybody, so today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, something I haven't done before, a one-on-one interview with one of my closest classmates throughout optometry school, Dr. Silman. And it's going to give kind of potential students who are third years, fourth years, or essentially any optometry student who's thinking about residency, kind of an insider information about the whole process of why they chose residency, what the whole process is like. So I think we're going to get some great information from Dr. Silman because there's two ways you can go about it. Dr. Silman chose a residency and I myself did not do a residency. So it kind of gives you a good angle of why someone might choose residency over not. When did you first start thinking about doing a residency? Was it kind of in the back of your mind before we started optometry school, or did at some point throughout optometry school your interest get sparked?
I would say I heard of it before optometry school, but I didn't know what it was. And when I came into optometry school, I kind of was interested, but I wasn't fully indulged into the idea.
Right.
I don't think I really decided until like around my third year of optometry school.
Okay. Is there based off that, is there a certain time that you feel third year, fourth year students kind of have to know when they want to do residency by?
I would say by the first rotation, you should have at least an itch for doing residency. I think there's a lot of opportunities throughout the process, and there's a post-match that you can go through also.
Okay. So you're saying by the first rotation of a fourth year rotation?
Year, correct.
Okay, I got you. I'm sure some students out there are wondering, what is the process like of going through residency? You know, there are some fourth years right now that might be thinking about it or taking that next step. So why don't you give us kind of inside information of going from that point of, okay, I want to do residency, to the point where you have a residency already set now, like being a month away.
So when I went through the process, it was actually my fourth year, first rotation, and I started looking at different vision therapy sites, and then I heard of the ORMatch, so I kind of put my information into ORMatch, and it just didn't open up until around, I would say September. And then during that time, you could see all the residency portions and which sites have them, and it tells you like what information you need, if you need anyone to reach to, and what kind of letter of recs they need, and all that, and your personal, your letter of intent, I mean.
Okay, and then is there anybody at the school that that kind of gives information? Did you go through the school to get help about setting up the residency and stuff?
I did not, but I used a few professors here for letter of recs.
Okay. Awesome. And then, I'll also mention, since I'm a Canadian as well too, that there is one extra kind of step that we have to go through. It's something that's called, because there are visas and student visa, so after you graduate, you essentially have 60 days to leave the United States. However, there is something that you can use for your residency, and that's called a optional practical training. It stands for OPT, essentially, which is much more commonly known as. And that's a visa. You just apply for and extend your visa for a year, and that's what you would use to do your residency. And there's plenty of people. Usually there's someone designated at your college that helps you kind of get that information and go through that process and get that all set up. So give us some more information about why you chose to do vision therapy as your residency choice, because there's tons of options out there. You can go into pediatrics, you can go into ocular disease, you can go into a VA hospital, but more specifically, let us know how you chose vision therapy as your choice for your residency.
I would say at the start and the end of third year, like throughout that whole process, we got really deep into like pediatrics, vision therapy, and strab, and Dr. France and Dr. Katouf did a really great job sparking that interest. And then the problem was our end of summer basically. We already decided on our rotations, and I looked at
end of summer of third year.
End of summer of third year.
Yeah.
I looked at my rotations, and I had no vision therapy, and I reached out to Dr. Shiglazia, and I was like, hey, I really love vision therapy. I want to see if there's an interest there.
Yeah.
And we worked out something. There was Dr. Davis, who just opened up a rotation site for us for the fourth years right now. And we asked her if I could go there a little bit earlier and see how it goes, and she agreed, and that's how it kind of sparked the interest into vision therapy.
Okay. And then once you got to that rotation, did you feel like it confirmed, kind of pushed you away, pushed you further into determining vision therapy is what you were going to do as a resident?
Oh, I loved that rotation, that like I knew that was where I wanted to be and what kind of setting I want to be when I finish optometry school.
So then, kind of to bounce off that, do you recommend students who kind of say, oh, you know, I might have an interest in doing a rotation in pediatrics, that they do one of their rotations, doing the residency in pediatrics? Do they do one of their rotations as a fourth year in that specific department to kind of figure out, is this for me, is this not for me? Would you recommend going through that?
I think you should, because I mean, the school setting is totally different than the private practice setting.
Right, yeah.
And even if you get a little bit of pediatrics here, it's still not the same as if you do it at a private practice.
Correct.
And I think you need to see how it is in the real world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think, you know, talking to whoever might be at your school in charge of rotations, you can make changes as you need, because at the end of the day, it's your education, and you should do that's best for you for sure. Mm-hmm. So, you know, obviously vision therapy is a huge aspect of our profession, and, you know, it's not meant for everybody, but for people who it is meant for, they can become extremely successful in that. And, you know, I definitely applaud you for following what you want and you know, kind of going for that direction. And obviously I think you'll be very successful in it as well. Just in case anyone has any questions, comments, or things that, you know, we didn't get to discuss here today, what's a way people can reach you?
They can add me on Facebook, Peter Silman, or they can use my Instagram handle, which is Eye-Opening Moments.
Okay, awesome. Well, you know, I want to thank you for taking the time here. You know, thank you for everybody who hopefully you gained something out of this today in terms of future students who might want to consider residency. If you have any questions or comments or anything you want to suggest that we can talk about again, definitely please don't be afraid to, again, reach out to Peter, the things he mentioned. You can also reach out to me, Shaminder Dhaliwal. You can reach the email that we'll have posted right here, or my Instagram handle, @DapperEyeDoc, at any time you like. And thank you for tuning in.